On this now, I'm joined in studio by TRT World producer Faisal Ali. Faisal, thanks so much for coming in. Why are we seeing this happen now in Somalia? What was the Parliament's reasoning behind all of this?
So there's a lot to unpack, actually. As you said, the Speaker of the Parliament said that the failure to hold the election on time was one of the key reasons. Among other things, they mentioned a lack of clear guidance on the federal system, a lack of development of the political party system, a lack of ability to resolve the status of Mogadishu. But according to the Minister of Internal Security, which was among the 8 who stayed loyal to the Prime Minister, he said that the motion, the vote of no confidence, was simply because of the fact that the Prime Minister was committed to holding the election on time. Now, what's important with regards to the election is that Halim Osman, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, I think June this year, gave advice to the government to delay the election by 13 months because of technical and security reasons. Somalia, like many other countries, was struggling with the coronavirus, with a lack of state capacity on top of dealing with a very dangerous insurgency. Another reason is that there are a lot of rumors that Prime Minister Khaire had his own presidential ambitions, but I think the most important point here is that this isn't necessarily unusual. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, the former Prime Minister, had a 6-month extension on his term, and Sheikh Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, the first president of the transitional government, also extended his term. So it's a question of capacity, among other things.
Well, let's just look at Khaire as the Prime Minister. I mean, he was in the position for 3 years, and for a country like Somalia that's been through so much instability, he was someone who was actually stable. So what did he do during his time in office?
So one of the important reasons for the lack of stability as far as Prime Minister's positions are concerned is because of constitutional lack of clarity. There are overlapping powers, overlapping responsibilities between the two offices. So former President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, for example, dismissed 3 of his prime ministers. Now, Farmaajo chose to remain loyal to Khaire and gave him real opportunity, and that loyalty produced stability. And that created the kind of conditions under which he could have some of his achievements. Some of his achievements, for example, was the biometric registration of troops. There were a lot of troops in the Somali armed forces who were claiming salaries but actually weren't taking part in their duties. Yeah, exactly. Civil servants are regularly paid on time, debt relief from the IMF and World Bank, budgetary support, other kinds of things. And then, of course, one of the most important points is that regular watchers of Somali politics will recognize that Khaire himself was a very energetic and very hard-working PM. He was up and down the country. He was regularly negotiating with stakeholders to kind of open up the political deadlocks, always willing to compromise. So I think he does walk out, even though it's a difficult situation, with his head held quite high.
What's his next move here?
Khaire, or do you mean the Somali government? There are loads of rumors about him beginning his own bid for the candidacy for presidency. This has been spoken about for a while. There has been tension between the president and the prime minister for 6 months. But I think for the meantime, a lot of different political factions in the Somali government who had differences of views on almost everything finally see eye to eye on this issue. I mean, the fact that an overwhelming majority supported the decision to remove Khaire, 170 MPs, including his own ministers, shows that this kind of cohesion might well be mobilized to kind of hold an election later on time, provided this moment is used appropriately. For the meantime, we know that Mohamed Mahdi Gulaid, the deputy PM, has stepped in as caretaker PM, but we'll see how things turn out.
Certainly developments we'll be following closely. Faisal Ali, thank you so much for that.
Pleasure.